awesome to speak to you both. So we'll just dive straight in as we have limited time. Starting with you, Louis. How are you doing today?
I'm pretty good, thank you. Not too bad. What about you?
Yeah, no complaints. I'm on my last night shift, so I'm feeling a little bit bleh, like as in I'm done
Yeah,
with night shifts. But
yeah.
other than that, I'm talking to you, so it's all cool. Joe, how about you? How are you doing today?
Not too bad, my friend. Thank you for having us on. It's been a good day so far, good weather, and aside from some traffic, everything's fine.
Oh, yeah. Not a bad year so far, though, right? You've been releasing content at a pretty steady rate, turning heads, been out and about as well, wrecking necks in the live environment with some of our favorite bands too. Starting individually, Louis, are you satisfied with what you've accomplished this year so far?
Yes, I'm very satisfied. I think it would have been a lot better if we could have got that northern run of shows completed, but it's just due to certain reasons we couldn't go through. So we had Newcastle, Leeds, and what was the other one, Joe?
Newcastle, Leeds, and Manchester.
Right, yeah. So, but yeah, that would have been ideal. But we still got out to Southampton and Bristol, and Exeter and Camden, which is to me which is a success, I suppose.
Yeah, things happen, isn't it? You know, always, ideally, you want to be able to play every show and everything runs smoothly and so on, but
Yeah,
life is life, isn't it?
yeah, indeed, indeed.
Joe, what about you? What about your satisfaction level?
Oh, they're really high. I mean, I've been basically itching to get back into playing live music since, oh, God knows, 2022, I think, and I really just haven't had the opportunity for that. And then obviously Alf hits me out of nowhere with a message asking if I can cover on vocals, and then I've wound up playing guitar and writing some music for the boys. So yeah, I'm really happy. I've been loving it, man.
Good stuff. Well,
Hmm.
sticking with you, Joe, what have there been any particular highlights of the year so far for you?
Yeah, I'd say one of my favorite things we did. I think this was when we played in Southampton. Is we needed to fill out a bit more time in the set, and we are like, shit, like we actually don't have anything else practice. We don't get to rehearse much, so we were like, what can we do? And I think someone suggested "Walk" by Pantera, and I said how, oh, I mean, I can't play that on guitar. I don't know what to
Hmm.
do. And then I think someone said, just hop on vocals. So me and other Joe Clinton, ended up sort of splitting vocal duties for that, and we got through the whole thing without a hitch, surprisingly. So yeah, that was one of my highlights for sure.
And it's Pantera's Walk, right? Like, even if you were to do it terribly, it's such a recognizable tune in a live environment that I imagine it went off.
Yeah,
It goes off no matter what, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I
it went
mean,
it went pretty well.
by the first note, the crowd knows what song it is, which that's to me is just like such a good thing to have for a song, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean the boys in Devil Husk who were also supporting Earthbound that night. They did a cover of Roots Bloody Roots by Sepultura, and like
Right.
that I think that slightly warmed me up to the idea of doing a cover because it's like seeing one of your favorite songs live, even if it's not from the band, is just fucking great fun. Sorry, I don't know if I can swear or not, but um,
It is fine. Don't worry about that. Louis, what about some of your highlights this year?
To be honest, I've probably got to agree with Joe because as we're traveling up to Southampton, we're all
Mhm.
like scrabbling trying to learn parts. Like, to be fair, it was me that suggested it, but then as I suggested it, I realized I don't know the song. So I was like, it's kind of one of them things like an impulsive thought that I said out loud and we ended up following through. So, but yeah, I think it's definitely someone I like to keep on a set going forward in the future. But yeah,
If it wasn't Walk, what other Pantera tune would you like to cover?
oh,
there's so many to pick from. So many to
just
pick
one.
from.
I think I know mine. If that helps
Mhm.
anyone,
Oh,
it would be the art of shredding. I think that has. I think I played it to Louis a while ago, but just one of the most underrated breakdowns ever. It's
Mm.
such a banger of a track. What about you, Louis?
uh, to be fair, at the moment, I'm obsessing over. I don't know if you've listened to "Live in a Hole"
I
by
think I have heard that. Yeah.
yeah. To me, like the grooves in it are just like I know I can see like people moshing to it, which is kind of what you want,
Yeah.
for a live song.
Okay, right. So let's talk right now, this moment in time. What specifically is keeping you as individuals busy? So, Louis, we'll start with you.
I've been trying to put together some. so much material for us to all kind of like, for me to bounce off the other guys, which I haven't got around to doing yet, but just trying to kind of think outside of the box when it comes to songwriting, because I think, yeah, so many people have completed certain things, or, they're starting to kind of genres are starting to overlap, which to
Hmm.
me, I enjoy listening to, but I don't want to be trying to, write something that I feel like I've already heard. So whether that's me putting progressive elements into hardcore, or even groove metal, new metal, like it's just things like that. That keeps me entertained and keeps me busy, because it's just difference, I suppose.
Hmm. You're finding yourself in quite a creative place at the moment.
Yeah, probably. I'd say so. I mean, other than when I'm not working, I'm here trying to properly, sit down and come up with something that I feel like I haven't heard before.
Uh,
Um, and taking, instead of listening to, I want every part of the song to be just as good. I can't stand when I'm listening to a song and they got really good verse, really good chorus, and then the bridge kills it.
yeah.
Because relying on the verse and the bridge to carry the song, and like, it's just. I suppose nowadays you're listening on Spotify, you get to 2 minutes into the song, and the bridge is coming up, so you just skip it. And
Hmm.
I don't want people to do that when they're listening to my music. I want it to just be, an entertaining, like, an
Every second,
emotional.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, exactly.
No, I get that, and there's nothing, and the goal is to always strive for perfection, as whatever that
Yeah,
might particularly mean, your
yeah,
version of that.
yeah.
But Joe, what about you? What's keeping you personally busy at this stage?
Unfortunately, I don't think my answer is half as interesting as Louis, but I'm currently very sort of neck deep in final year uni work. So that's one of the struggles of trying to of balancing all these plates, is that you end up in a situation where you've got 18,000 words to write in the space of about a few weeks, and you've also got band stuff to do. But somehow I managed to fit both in, and I've been doing musical stuff as well, like. I've been learning. I've actually been dropping guitar tunings quite significantly at the moment, and just trying to write some stuff in a lower tuning. Only issue with that is, of course, is if you try and take that out on tour, it's a ball ache for everyone who has to play the stringed instrument. Because having to stop and tune halfway through your set, it's not a good look.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, true, but it does happen, and obviously certain styles of music and genres, it's expected to a degree. What are you doing in uni,
True.
if you don't mind me ask?
Oh, so I'm currently in the fourth and final year of my course, which is American Studies with Politics. And funnily enough, I think that it's actually helped my songwriting quite a bit, because
Yeah.
in studying A, America, and B, politics, you get actually quite pissed off in a bit of a visceral way. So it kind of lends itself quite well to writing angry music. So I can't say I've had as much success as I have of recent, because you're so frequently annoyed with things. You're like, God, I just want to write a song about it. So there you go.
The wealth of inspiration that can come from that country and its past and history and the present. Yeah, I mean, wow.
Oh God, yeah.
I have to ask. I don't want to get stuck in this, but one more question about it. What does that? What kind of career does that pertain to? Like, what doors do that? What doors are open via that degree?
So basic, so lots of stuff, lots of quite basic stuff in terms of like doing like PR work for companies. Because obviously in studying politics, you get a good sort of knowledge of what the general public does like, what they don't like, what they like to hear, what
Mm.
they don't like to hear. So that's one of them. Obviously, there's way more direct stuff. So like you can. I mean, I don't think I'd ever want to be a politician. I don't think anyone with their head screwed on properly would say the same thing either. But you can do jobs working around it. And I mean, I've still got the slightly naive belief that you can do some good in the world in doing something involving politics. I mean, yeah, it's naive, but it's what's keeping me going at the moment.
Oh
So,
yeah. Hell
yeah,
yeah. Yeah, yeah, and I get it. You can say it's naive, but it's great that you've still got that. You've got that positivity about it. It sucks that the natural response for just about everybody's go, "Oh, what a pointless exercise that is." It not even just this, but it often feels for just about everything in life. Even making music can sometimes feel like a pointless exercise because of how hard it is to make money and make it a career, and you have to balance your jobs and university and all of that stuff. So staying positive is really, really great, particularly in these environments.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you're a pessimist, you just sink. That's
Yeah.
genuinely that's kind of what I've come to realize. Unless you get incredibly lucky, or someone in your family who's very wealthy dies and gives you that, then you're good.
Yeah, fair enough. But speaking about positive stuff, let's roll it back to the band. Friday, November 8th, 2024. You remember this date? It was the Dev in London. I love that pub. I'm a Londoner, so that is a fabulous, fabulous venue. It was your debut show. That was only 6 months ago, though. So, Louis, are you surprised by how fast things have moved? And what's motivating you to kind of keep this pace up?
I think for me personally, I think once I get like almost a taste of success, then I feel like I have to chase it, if that makes sense. And like, playing in front of, I'd probably say there's 20, 30 people there. You want there to be an extra zero on the end. So it's like 200. And then what I assume, if I know myself well enough, it'll get to, 200, 300, and I want another zero on the end. So that's what's keeping me going and wanting me to, help out with the rest as much as I can and, knuckle down on getting shows done and, doing the bits that, people don't talk about when it comes to, like, famous bands. Like no one talks about them sorting out merch. It's like these things, but they have to be done in order to, get to the level you want to get to. So for me, that's what's keeping me occupied. And wants to help me drive forward.
Oh yeah, it's good to be stay that motivated as well. You encounter, for example, and you're at the dev, and you only have to look around and see the sort of step-by-step increase you can have. You go from the dev, there's the Black Heart, there's the Electric Ballroom, there's the Roundhouse, and so on. It just keeps growing in size. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
great to have those targets, and of course, many bands have done it as well. London-based bands or UK-based bands as well. But Joe, what's motivating you?
What's motivating me, I think, is that I'm quite enjoying. Well, I think the creative outlet in life for me is just so necessary. I think that I'm basically sort of have to sort of be constantly occupied, and music is a constant occupation because it's always a work in progress. That's one of my favorite things about it is that you can just you can keep improving. I don't think there's almost anyone in the world apart from maybe like an Eloy Casagrande who's reached like the peak of talent, right? So I think just working towards that, and also I just fucking love playing live music. It's so much fun. I love getting to go around the country and see new faces, make new friends. It's honestly such a privilege to be able to do it. I think that's probably the main drive for me. Obviously, there's the whole selfish stuff about getting better at music, but in reality, it's just like, what an experience though, just being able to go out and do that.
Well, of course, getting better at music just, means the live shows are going to be better and go off more and then
Fair
increase it. So,
point.
yeah, like it's all tied together, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. It's a good point.
Louis, what was or still is the vision for Headcount?
Um, I think my vision for me is to know, be someone when they associate a genre with a band, if you know what I mean. If like, if you mention Metallica, you
Right.
think of like heavy metal. If they say heavy metal, you think of Metallica. Rock, you think of like Guns N' Roses, Motley Crue. You know what I mean? Like, and I'd like to get Headcount to be that name associated with whether that's hardcore or heavy metal, whatever route we go down in, 10 years time, I want it to be tied to that name, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, of course that makes sense. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You think of certain things, oh, doom band, a groove metal band, and bands jump to mind immediately
Yeah.
from that. So yeah, it totally makes sense. But Joe, how do you share that same vision, or do you have a different take on it?
I mean, like, I'm first of all, I'm totally on board with everything Louis says. Like, I think that you really have to. I've sort of figured this out gradually, but to motivate yourself in a potential career like this, you just kind of have to have the vision and be very certain that you can achieve it. Even if you have to lie to yourself a few times or be a bit nice to yourself, you just really have to have that vision and work towards it. But I'd say like my sort of vision for the band generally is that like I just want to keep making. I want to keep making music that sort of makes a statement and is bold and most of all sort of just makes people happy. I want to provide something that people can listen to over and over and over, something hooky, something catchy. I think as long as, I mean, and we already have that in the singles that are out. Persistence is a great chorus, as does our other single, which excuse me, the name's escaping me. That's quite poor. But yeah, as long as we keep doing that, keep being hooky, keep being catchy, stick in people's heads. I think that's sort of what really I think we can work towards, and that should be our goal.
What do you
yeah,
see?
hopefully the rest comes with it. Yeah.
But what do you see? I mean, because you're absolutely right. You do kind of have to sometimes take a reality check as much as anything else, while also aiming high. But what do you see as the biggest challenge you face making your version of the vision a reality?
To be brutally honest, money.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I've checked a few times, but it still doesn't grow on trees. And it's just that I think that's one of the saddest things about music today is that although streaming is absolutely incredible and provides people with the access to whatever they want, whenever they want, allows people to go down completely different avenues. Although it's great in some regards, the fact that it's just sucked all the money out of the industry and made it so that, I mean, I'd like to think that about 20 or so years ago, if we were to get the same sort of attendances and sort of merch and sort of merch engagement stuff like that with the audience, that we would be able to actually make maybe even turn a profit on a tour. But that is just impossible for any band starting out today. And I'm fortunate that I can balance the job with my work and my uni stuff. But not everyone can do that. I'm very privileged to be able to say that. So I think that I can't remember what I was originally saying. I've gone a bit of a
No.
bit of a rant here, but yeah, I think you probably get the gist of what I'm saying anyway.
No kidding. And as obvious as the answer might be, money, it's true. It speaks completely true. You're not alone in that regard, and it isn't going to change, unfortunately. So you got to make sure you got the damn passion for this.
Oh
Louis,
God,
though,
yeah.
do you concur? Is money the thing that you see as the biggest challenge to making your version of the vision a reality?
I'm not too bothered about how much money I make from from music in itself, but I think well, I know for a fact that the reason I'm doing this is because I'd love to be able to, you know, sit on at my drum set in front of 2,000, 3,000, people
Mm.
and hear them listen to me play because that's years of hard work paying off in that exact moment. And if you can do that, you're going to be pulling in money as well.
Yeah.
So if you're 2,000 tickets, like 30, 40 pounds each, however much it is, then yeah, but I do agree with Joe also in the sense that streaming platforms are probably sucking a lot of money out of it all because my dad's quite old school. He buys albums still. He doesn't use the
Yep.
streaming platform. So if he buys an album and he's not too comfortable with it, then he has to listen again because he's just spent £13. You listen to it again and you think, this is like there's some decent tracks on this album because you can't just whereas on Spotify you download an album for I don't know, and you listen, that's a horrible song, horrible song, horrible song, skip, 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 like, and you don't give it enough time for it to settle down in your mind
Yeah.
for me personally.
I mean, that's just a reflection of our generation's like intensely low attention spans as well.
Yeah.
Like we are, I mean, I struggle to focus on fucking anything. So, I mean, it certainly applies to streaming and music.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nothing that you specifically can fix or solve. You are a victim to it as much as anyone else, but you also understand it. You understand limitations, the issues around it, and how to work within the system as well, whether you like it or not, right?
Yeah, totally. And I mean, even then, like, whereas streaming does cause a lot of grief for people in the music industry, you can also say that social media has dramatically changed the ways in which bands can sort of get themselves out there and become known. Or I mean, like the fellas we were supporting on our last tour, Earthbound, for example, like they had people coming to see them from other cities who were traveling
Yeah.
like hours to come and watch them play simply because they followed them on TikTok and knew their content and recognized them. And I think that really sort of struck a chord with me. I'm like, shit, this is maybe something that we ought to be trying a bit harder with, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great shout with Earthbound. I've known them for many, many years, and obviously in recent time they've kind of blown up in spectacular style. But
They're
there was once
great guys too.
there was a point where they were sort of like banging their heads against the wall like many other bands are. So if sometimes you can just break through sometimes. I don't know if it involves a little bit of
But
luck, but you
for
know.
me, for me, that will make the achievement better, I believe, because now that people are saying, and I agree with Joe, like it is definitely a lot harder to make it than it was maybe 30 years ago. And I'm not
Mm.
saying they got it easy, but obviously they had to graft and work hard. But for like us now, if we pull off what our big bands that I think that'd be like a bigger achievement, to be fair.
Oh yeah, not if everybody wants to have been making music in the late 90s, early noughties, but every band was getting signed to every label, and every crappy new metal song was getting radio and channel played, and the money was rolling in. But those days are gone. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, no,
I
exactly.
mean, we weren't really alive or barely conscious during that period either. So it's not like we're even looking back on it. We weren't even there.
Yeah, I know, I know. I'm showing my age. I am 40, so there is a certain thing going
No,
on
no,
here.
you're not showing your age at all. We're just showing our immaturity. That's it.
Um, but okay, right. Louis, how are you measuring your success so far? Because we obviously two singles, we got Powertrip, we got Persistence, they're out, doing all right. People are talking about them, commenting, you coming to the shows. So how are you measuring your success so far?
We've got, I'm not too sure. Joe, do you know how many monthly listeners we've got now?
Excuse me. I think it was 106 last time I looked.
106.
I think that was the updated one though, because
Right,
obviously we put
okay.
out the single last month.
So, like,
But it
I
was
see
definitely
that.
higher than that at one point.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so we've got 106 more streams than we had in January, which, were monthly listeners than we had in January. So I
Hmm.
believe when the next, set of singles come out and we try and get this EP sorted out, I want to, increase that number by tenfold. So,
Yeah.
which to me, that's how I will measure the success.
Joe, same for you?
I think I'll measure. I think I'll measure. Wait, in terms of how I'll measure the success, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I'd say honestly, I think for me it'll probably be if we're playing a show and someone comes up to you and is like, "Oh shit, you guys," right? And someone can pick us apart from a crowd. I mean, that's only ever happened to me once in real life, and that was even then like very surreal. But I think when that happens, I think that's when I'll sort of know that maybe we're picking up a bit of steam. Although that's not to say we're not picking up steam at the moment. We certainly are. We're doing a bloody good job at the moment.
Yeah, that can't be understated. Really, really can't be understated. And how, in such a short amount of time as well, that's the thing that I keep getting gone back to. We're not talking years here. We are talking mere months, which is simply fabulous. But I want to look and focus a little bit on the future as well. So, Louis, talk to me about what's going on right now. In particular, plans you have in place going forward that you can tell me about.
So I believe some point in summer, so between I think July, August, September, I believe we're planning on heading back into the studio and
Hmm.
getting so I believe it's three songs we're going to be trying to get, recorded and settled down. So that'll give us five songs, overall. So that's the plans we've got in so far. But then other than that, I think we're trying to take some time off, to get writing because I think we really want to, make sure that every song we release is better than the other one, you know. So and I think that's the direction we're going to be heading in.
So just focused on improving yourselves, getting new music out there, getting a stronger body of work that you can obviously then bring to the live environment as well.
Yeah, exactly.
If I can add something, I'd say as well that we're a few of us. I mean, like I said myself for the dissertation stuff, a few of us are unfortunately got a lot of real life going on at the moment. So we're not going to be as present with the live shows as we have been in the last couple of months, at least for the next sort of 2 months maybe. But I will say after May, I see us getting a lot busier. I mean, hopefully we can play some shows near some people, go to some new places, meet some new faces there,
Well,
and
we've got Metal to the Masses, haven't we?
yes, we do have that. We do have that to look
So
forward to.
yeah, so that'll be good to get some, and that's quite local to where I live, Hitchin direction. So
Yep.
yeah, that'll be good fun to maybe get some people I know that I haven't seen us play live before, come down and watch us.
Well, I may have missed this. So you're doing Hitchens, Metal to the Masses.
Yes.
You're right. Okay, cool, cool, cool. All right, good luck with that.
Thank you.
Obviously, winning that is an incredible achievement, and I'm 10-year veteran of Bloodstock and have spent many times interviewing bands that have played the New Blood stage and the Jägermeister / EMP stage
Yeah.
over the years as well. So fingers crossed that next time I speak to you, it's August and we're standing in a field.
Yeah. Yeah. Fingers crossed. I don't see why that
Uh,
won't be happening.
yeah, yeah, hell yeah, that's what I want to hear. But all right, okay, then on that front, along because I'd say that's obviously a goal you would like to achieve by the end of the year. But what's the additional realistic goal you'd like to achieve by the end of this year? Both of you, please.
Um, I would say for me, putting an EP out, I think that for me is really, really important. I think because I think although it's really great what we have out at the moment, I think that these sort of new tracks, I think that we really are upping our game in terms of songwriting. I think that's going to come across so well in the EP. And people who've seen us live or who will see us live will see these tracks being played and I guess get like an early listen. But it's going to be so fucking good to finally have those out, getting into people's ears. I think so. That's probably for me the goal, at least before the end of this year.
Louis?
Yeah, to be fair, mine would probably be trying to get that EP out because it's just yeah, I love writing music and I love recording music just as much, being able to listen to it back and that to me will be that'll be really good.
Banging. I have all the faith in the world in you to get that sorted. But you know what? Like, I've heard your music. Obviously, I'm familiar with the singles, but you know what? I haven't done. Obviously, seen you play live yet. So, individually, Louis, sum up a Headcount live show for me and why someone should get down to the next one that's going on.
I think I could sum it up in one word and it's just sort of carnage, carnage, but controlled carnage, if that makes sense. It's not like one of those where it's just breakdown after breakdown after breakdown after breakdown to the point, we've been playing like opens for like the whole set, but
Yeah.
is very controlled. We know we're very good at putting songs in a very strategic order, which, give I think, and you see people listening throughout the whole set, they seem to be enjoying every moment of it, which I just love to see, and it's satisfying for me to be able to pull that off when we're playing.
Good guess. How about you, Joe?
I'm going to pick a really evil and horrible word. I think I'll go with fun.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best word.
Fun and controlled carnage. Sounds awesome. I love all of that. It clearly means a lot to you. It clearly means the work you've already done, the work you put into it means a hell of a lot to you. But I would like you both individually to sum up what headcount means to you. Starting with you, Louis.
Um, Head count, it's hard to put what it really means to me. I think it's just I don't know, it's like a religion of its own, if that makes sense. Like we all have very very firm ways of how we believe in when it comes to songwriting. It's a religion of songwriting, I'd say, because I think, it's just, yeah, I love playing on stage with them as well, and we all kind of, respect each other and we all, kind of admire what each other can do, which to me is just how it should be.
Well said. Joe?
I'd just say it's a great and quite unlikely group of lads just playing fucking fun music together, going to visit new places. Yeah, it is. It's really special to me at the moment. Having, like I said, having this in my life is amazing at the moment, and yeah, I just want to keep it like that. Just some good mates playing some good music on the road, and hopefully meet some cool people on the way.
Well said, fellas. I love that. And it's been fantastic to see the success you've had already and the success that I can envision for your future that you can also envision. We've got Powertrip, we've got Persistence that are out now. People should check them out on whatever platform they so choose and to stay attached to your socials for those future live shows and whatever comes next. Cannot wait. Best of luck for the Bloodstock Metal to the masses. Best of luck for everything else. And in your case, Joe, best of luck for the damn uni stuff. You've gone this far with it. yeah, thank you both for taking the time to do this. I really appreciate it.
Oh, no worries. Thanks so much for having us, man. You've been great company, and hopefully we see you at a gig at some point soon. I've got my fingers crossed.
Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. It does help us out. You can find us at gbhbl.com and across all social media platforms. And if you really want to give us a bit of extra support, please consider buying us a cup of coffee over on our coffee page. Thank you.